Beaver County stations for news, sports, information, and entertainment. 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls and 1460 WMBA Ambridge.
Is that live? Is that you? Yeah, but it won't play.
Hello, Beaver County, and welcome to your personal realtor. I'm your host, RE/MAX Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna. And I am joined, as always, by my producer at large, Mr. Beaver County Radio himself, Sir Frank Sparks.
Good morning, sir.
How are
Good.
you?
How are you?
I'm great.
Just great, huh? Yeah, you come like in a blurry coming in here. So,
Well, you know, we don't hold back anything, so we have almost full disclosure with our audience all the time. So let's just say your humble host here today got a little bit of a quote-unquote late start.
oh, okay, nothing wrong with that.
on my day. My good friends, we are here every Saturday from 10:30 to noon. Sometimes in studio, sometimes remotely, sometimes maybe at the top of a mountain. You know, with we're maybe yodeling to you. We're not sure, but we're going to be here every Saturday from 10:30 to noon. That I can guarantee you. Today I have the honor once again to have my very good friend in what I consider to be the top home inspector in the Valley, Mr. Matt Pia from Division 9 Home Inspection, graciously coming in and saving my rear end today. As your humble host is running a little bit behind, but we have quite a bit of good content to discuss. Matt and I had a couple inspections that we did Matt did some inspections for my buyers these past 2 weeks. We got some good stories and some good relevant information that we're going to pass along. As always, we accept your phone calls here on the two most famous numbers in Beaver County, and those are 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. We have our Facebook Live going. It's so wonderful to see. I see Sarah's up there and David, and I can't scroll because I can't reach it. It's too far away. But to all of you, thank you so much for joining as you do every week. Facebook Live has added an entirely new dimension to this show. And for that, I'll be ever grateful. I want to mention sometimes I get my numbers mixed up from week to week. However, I am confident today is show number 32. How about that? Show 32.
Chugging along.
And he survived.
I'm still here.
Frank has made it. Good morning, Stephen Dish. Facebook Live is building up. I want to mention a couple of sponsors we have for this show. Number one, the show is always sponsored by yours truly, of course, my website, which is calleric.com. Again, that's calleric.com. We'll talk multiple times during the next 90 minutes about how I can help you personally and be your personal realtor. But keep in mind that that short web address of calleric.com is a great place to learn more about the work that I do as a realtor in Allegheny, Butler, of course, and the wonderful county of Beaver. And I even venture down to Washington County, if you can believe that or not. I travel a lot. But every week here, I'm honored to be on Beaver County Radio, sitting in the Lachina Drapery and Blinds factory studio here in Beaver Falls. Just great to be with you again this week. And I've been blessed numerous times by the popularity of this show. I have to look in the mirror every morning and go, how did this happen? But the great people of Beaver County have invited me into their lives. And I drive a white pickup truck, and on the side of the truck there's some RE/MAX logos and my name and so forth. Nothing to do with the show, although that wouldn't be a bad idea to label it up. What do you think, Frank? Your personal, I mean, you're in the NASCAR and labels on vehicles and all that stuff, right?
Oh, well, we're going to go that route. We might as well just wrap it. right, Matt? Let's put a wrap on it.
We're done. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's wrap it.
Diane's on Facebook joining us. How are you, Diane? Thank you very much. So anyways, when I have this labeling on my truck and I'm out and about in Beaver meeting people, I am continually humbled when people come up to me and say, hey, radio guy, right? Beaver County WBVP. I said, yes, thank you. But it's been great. And the hospitality between the Beaver County residents that have called or emailed, and have some of them have even invited me into their home to become my clients or even discuss real estate. It's been very humbling. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Long story short, Frank's laughing because he thinks I had a very long night, but I didn't. No alcohol was involved. I can assure you it was 100% sober. And you'll appreciate this, Frank. I actually went over to my office rather late last night over in Swickley. I work at Remax Advanced, and I hang my hat over in a little office in Swickley.
Okay.
I went over to finish up some work, and one of them was actually to review one of the reports that Matt was working on for one of my clients. And I like to go over there at night because there's a solitude. And if you know Swickley at all, it's generally pretty quiet at night, except for that god-awful fire alarm. Are you familiar with that fire alarm in Swickley?
I am, yes.
Oh, my goodness gracious. That thing, or where our office is, the proximity to the firehouse is not far away, like a block or two away. That thing will wake the dead. I mean, literally. It's the first time I worked over there and it went off, I almost lost it because I didn't know what it was. It doesn't sound like a fire. It's just a buzzer, like this very loud, obtuse buzzer. Anyways, that went off in the rain, of course. But I then visited a good friend of mine before I went home who happened to be working a different shift, and he was texting me, and I went over and talked to him. Dave, I'll just leave it at Dave. I went up and saw Dave and his lovely fiance, and I sat there, and while they partook in some beverages, I had the opportunity to drink iced tea.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much. But it was good because I had sold a piece of property for them, and it seems like I never can escape it because once we sat there, all of a sudden the idea of rental properties, and he had questions more geared toward Matt. I need to consult with Matt on inspections and building structure and things like that. So good to see Dave. Good to spend some time. So anyways, I got home rather late. Unfortunately, around 3, I did about 2:30, 3 p.m. last night. That's late for me, friends.
That's late.
I'm 50. I'm over 50. If you're out past 2 o'clock, the next day you're gonna pay for it. Inebriated or not, which I was bone dry. However, your humble host swears I set an alarm this morning for 7 a.m. and my wife said you did, and I said, huh. And I looked down, and it was a little bit after 9, so I had to do the mad scramble. And
okay.
Here I am. So there we go. Huh. But enough of that stuff. So, friends, a little bit of something different here. If you've listened to the show at all, you know that our content, we try to be content rich when we can, but we also have a lot of humor. We have a lot of fun on this show, and I just couldn't do this show without some humor. But we're not going to hit the humor aspect. Well, before we get started here, while I was driving in today, I was listening to the Lead Lap hosted by Mr. Beaver County Radio himself, Frank Sparks, and Frank was he had some frustration in his voice because I guess it's been raining for the past couple of weeks, and there's not a lot to report on racing. Is that correct?
On the local scene.
Okay. So I am not a racing aficionado. I used to I was in the guitar business for a while there, and we did some guitars for some racing guys as mementos. Okay. Some expensive pieces too, I might add. Jimmy Johnson was one of them, I remember correctly. So I have a tie-in that way. Okay. But what I wanted to ask you, and I tried to call in on air and I couldn't get through. They don't answer my call when they see my caller ID. The Sports Lap, I can only get in on the sports, just like the Sports Slam. I can only get in at the very end of the show when let them in already.
Right. No, it's Eric.
All right. So anyways, my question to you before I even start this show today, okay, I worked with the rock band Kiss for a period of time. Okay. And in the early 2000s, as the band was deciding where they were going to go, whether they were going to stay together, Gene Simmons of Kiss was doing a multitude of things like he always does. Right. One of them was a marketing company he started, and he came up with a slogan, or that marketing company was hired by Formula One, or whatever that is in the United States. Formula One cars, whatever that.
It's open wheel racing.
Okay, that organization, Indy Racing or whatever it is.
Yeah, Indy Racing's IRL. That's Verizon.
Maybe that's what it was. Okay. He was hired to come up with some kind of marketing slogan to bring more people in, and he came up with one that was called "I Am Indy." Do you remember that campaign? It was in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
I Am Indy. That was Gene Simmons of Kiss. His company came up with that. And it was funny because as just, a fan of music and a fan of the band, and just even before I started working with them, this was prevalent. And there was TV ads. There was all kinds of this I Am Indy thing. And I guess it was to try to raise the level of open wheel racing to that of NASCAR. That was the design. As you can see, though, it never worked. It never worked.
No.
So my question to you is, just generally, before we even get into real estate today, just so I have a better understanding, and maybe hopefully someone in the audience as well too, what are the major two differences between those two formats? I used to go to Grand Prix many years ago. The Detroit Grand Prix used to be a big one in the 80s and 90s. I've gone overseas. I've seen some open wheel racing over there. But why is NASCAR so prevalent in the United States? Why do we own it here? And the open wheel never became quite as popular.
Well, see, actually, you're wrong there a little bit because open wheel was popular back in the days of Gordon John Cock, A.J. Foyt. So open wheel was a very popular sport.
Okay.
And then NASCAR in the 70s just took off, and that was due to Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, David Pearson. And NASCAR really didn't come on the scene on television until the late 70s.
Okay.
And one of the first ever Daytona 500s to be on was in 1979, and that was the one where the famous fight, if you've ever heard of the fight.
No, I don't
where
know.
They wrecked, got out of the car, and started kicking each other's butts. And I think that's kind of where NASCAR took. And everybody attributes that to the beginning of NASCAR's popularity.
Okay.
That happened. David Pearson and Richard Petty wrecked each other coming to the start line, to the finish line to win the race. They were racing hard. They wrecked each other. Richard Petty's crew comes out, pushes the car across the start-finish line to win the race to find out, crew touches the car. That's illegal. So David Pearson won the race. So that was kind of probably that race there probably put NASCAR on the charts.
Okay.
And NASCAR has grown in popularity. And racing in general is, to be honest with you, in all levels is down. It just so happens NASCAR is they're more inventive in recreating their brand and making their brand, trying to at least get the fans in the seats. And you don't see that a lot out of Formula One. You don't see that out of Indy at all. And the major difference is, basically Indy's open wheel and Formula One is open wheel. And
what cars go faster?
Oh, the open wheel cars by far. It's a light car.
Okay.
Those cars can haul some rear end. You're looking at originally when NASCAR started, they would take a car like basically what you have, say like a 1970 Dodge Charger.
Okay.
They'd pretty much just put roll cage in that bad boy. And that would be put a roll cage in there, adjust the seats a little bit, put a seat belt in there, put some straps in there so you're strapped in, throw a helmet on and go racing.
Okay.
And that's how it originally happened. There was times where race cars that, like, I'm sure you've heard of Darrell Waltrip. Everybody's heard of Darrell Waltrip. Yes. There was times where him and his crew would wreck all their cars at the track, and they'd go to the showroom. They're a Chevy driver. They'd go to the showroom, get another car, take it out, modify it, and race it.
And I'm guessing that does not happen anymore.
Well, no, because as time went on, we've learned more, and unfortunately, the death of Dale Earnhardt made a big learning curve for NASCAR to have safer cars, and now really, for the most part, those cars are totally manufactured by the teams, and the body panels are stamped panels from the factory. That's the law.
Okay.
The rules of the race, and so pretty much all you're seeing on those cars that is factory are the stamped panels that's on the outside of the car. Okay. Other than that, it's basically a pod.
That's how far it's evolved at this point. Yeah. I mean, obviously they market themselves like the NFL, the NHL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, the whole thing. So
right. And they've done it. NASCAR has done a better job, even though listenership and race attendance is down. They've done a better job at marketing themselves than the Verizon Indy League or F1 has done.
Okay, well, there's my answer.
Yep.
Frank, I have a question for you.
Sure.
We typically don't take a break so early, but you know what? Facebook Live.
Well, you have to anyways. It's 10 till
good.
already.
We're getting some feedback from our Facebook audience. The Facebook Live, the connection's not good, so I'm going to kind of reset that during the break. Friends, you're listening to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna. RE/MAX Advanced Realtor here every Saturday from 10:30 to noon, and always on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. Joined today with my guest, Mr. Matt Pia, and of course, Mr. Beaver County Radio himself, Sir Frank Sparks. And we'll return right after this break. Whew, my goodness. I love Eric Clapton, but I didn't realize the volume on my headphones were all the way up. I had a little bit of flashback to my childhood sitting on my bed, blowing my brains out with heavy metal music. But, whew.
Yeah,
I think
we've all done that.
Yeah, that was a lot of smooth rock and roll. Friends, you're listening to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna here every Saturday from 10:30 to noon, much to Frank's dismay. I'm joined here, as always, by Mr. Beaver County Radio himself, Sir Frank Sparks, behind the big board, and always humbled and very appreciative of having the one and only Mr. Matt Pia from Division 9 Home Inspection in studio with me this week again. Matt, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Yeah, Matt was the savior today. You know why he's the savior? Because although you can't see Frank's beverage, caffeine.
You need caffeine today.
I do need caffeine.
Friends,
we're joined by our Facebook Live crowd. Hopefully everybody is able to see us. We had some transmission issues there. Matt kind of monitors the Facebook Live for me when he's here. I guess we had a connection of some kind. It just wasn't working. So hopefully it's a little better now.
Yeah, I got it now.
Seems better.
Everything was frozen.
My apologies. For the first 20 minutes of the show, although we just blathered on, I just kind of bought time, as radio speak goes, as I got my stuff organized over here. But Doug and Jamie, hey, Jamie and Cy are watching here.
Hey, how you doing, Jamie and Cy?
There you go. Thanks for tuning in, and Doug and Eric and everybody else. Thank you very much. The Facebook Live, as always, is here every week, and it adds a great amount of just a great amount of diversity to our show. Questions come in. Feel free to ask your questions on Facebook Live. Frank and Matt, maybe you'll be kind enough to monitor those for me. You can always reach us on the two most famous numbers in Beaver County. That flows so well, doesn't it? 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. Frank gave me the evil eye last week when we were on the remote, and I'll tell you why, friends. It was kind of
you gave me a lot of evil eyes.
Well, I know. Hey, Jeff McBain's watching. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Because I don't have these two numbers committed to memory after 32 weeks. You think I would have that, right? Mm-hmm. I got the first one right. I'm like, I'm just reading off the top of my head, 724-843-1888. And then I went 724, and I think I said 863, 18 something. I don't know. Wasn't one of my most professional moments, that is for sure. But we're going to get right into it, friends. As many of you know, Matt Pia, who is kind enough to join us almost on an every third week now, take a lot of moment out of his time. And I know Saturdays are very busy for Matt, so I do appreciate that very much. Matt is my go-to home inspector, and of course my buyers are free to use whoever they want. That's the great thing about real estate law. The clients hold all the cards, whether it's mortgage or insurance, even who they choose for their realtor, of course. But many of my clients have worked with Matt, and many more continue to do so, and it's for many reasons. As I say, week after week after week, I've never worked with an inspector as good, and I've worked with some good ones, but I've never worked with one as thorough and as customer-friendly as Matt is. And part of that customer friendliness is to make his inspections participatory. So even by taking a step backwards, let's just review real quick why a home inspection is needed. And then we're going to get into some specifics here, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, it's fine.
I do a little video series here. Oh, there's Ron Duramo. How are you, Ron? Good to see you, my friend. Facebook has just been phenomenal. Facebook Live, thank you for tuning in. I am a realtor that strongly believes, as I believe every good realtor should, we believe in the essence and the importance of a home inspection for our buyers once they come under contract for a home. So you choose your realtor, you have your realtor search for you, you search the web, you see a bunch of homes that you like, you'll fall in love with one, and then you call Matt. And you call Matt because Matt will do the home inspection and be your advocate. And what Matt will do, and we'll talk about that in particular, but he's going to go in there, he's going to inspect all the safety issues on the house. Now we're talking structural, framing, electrical, water, gas, piping, all the appliances, all the mechanicals, your furnace, your water heater. See, I'm rattling these off pretty good.
You
huh?
are. You're getting really good.
I'm getting
at this
better.
now.
Yeah, I'm getting better. See,
I just need you to start writing some reports.
No, but windows, roofing, gutters, soffit and fascia, siding, all these things are part of Matt's inspection of the house. And what I love about what Matt does is this isn't just the technology that he uses. He's up to date on everything. But in certain instances on homes that are usually 2 stories or higher, correct me if I'm wrong, we throw a drone up there to give a very detailed look at the chimney and the flashing and the roofing and the gutters and the softening, even some of the upper siding areas.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a better angle than standing on the roof. And a lot of times my viewpoint on it is, having a 20-year construction background is the less foot traffic on a roof, the better it is. Be it a flat roof, a pitched roof,
Right.
It doesn't matter.
No question about it. So, and it's also safer. Let's face it.
Oh, it is.
It's a lot safer. And then when Matt is done with this inspection, I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I'll back up for a second. While Matt's doing this inspection, he always strongly encourages the buyer to be there, whether it's for the entire inspection or at least the last 2/3 of the inspection or whatever the buyer can do. But the idea is you want it to be participatory so they can ask questions. You can also point out things that are not going into that report because they're not safety related items, but there's some, Matt's done this a while. There are hints and things that you may want to look for a year from now, 5 years from now, or 10 years from now.
Correct.
And all that information is vital. And I call that important ancillary parts of the inspection, things that aren't always written because Matt is limited to a degree on the inspection because he is there to look for safety deficiencies. Now, that can be a broad term.
It's a very broad term.
But that is the essence of a home inspection.
Correct. I mean, we're pointing out, issues on. We're not. I don't want to say issues, but furnaces. We'll touch on that. Filters. It's they have so many different types of filters out there that collect pollen that are electromagnetic and do all this, and you can pay upwards of $40-some for one filter that you're going to replace every 3 months.
Absolutely right.
Well, the issue with that is they make those filters so thick that it makes the furnace run harder, so you're not getting that airflow that you're looking for.
Right.
And I tell the clients, buy the packet of the cheap ones. Get the 10-pack for $25.
Do you hear that?
Change it every 30 days. I mean,
Right.
these are 30-day filters. They're
Right.
not made to go for 3 months.
Right.
Because what will happen is they'll start to collapse on you, and they'll pull inwards into the blower motor. So you have to be vigilant on changing it.
So sometimes some of the filters for some of the furnaces are actually overmade, meaning that they're too thick. They don't let enough air draw through.
Correct. So you're not getting. So when you're in your living room in the middle of summer and you turn your AC on, you're wondering why you're not feeling that much air. It's because well, I don't say it is because, but one of the factors could be that there's the filter is just too beefed up.
Gotcha.
It's trying to do too many things. It's got a
Gotcha.
Electric static on it to
Right.
kill pollen.
Right.
The filter's thicker to catch more.
Right. And as soon as that does, and as soon as something that thick already starts to get accumulated with things, it even works even less.
Correct.
Okay.
So, I mean,
Okay.
the biggest thing is you can get down there and pull your filter out, and you can hear the volume of air. You can feel the change.
The change, absolutely
So-
right. Even a layman like myself knows that. I'm getting the official word, Matt, from your wife that we are loud and clear on Facebook Live. Thank you. Thanks for your patience earlier on. We had some technical difficulties. And now, oh my goodness, friends, you are listening to woo, that was a quick half hour. Friends, you are listening to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna, Realtor with RE/MAX Advanced, every Saturday from 10:30 to noon on WBVP and 1460 on 1230 WBVP, Chippewa and Beaver Falls, and 1460 WMBA with Ambridge and Moon Township. And now it is time for Town Hall News.
Beaver County stations for news, sports, information, and entertainment. 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls and 1460 WMBA Ambridge.
Yeah, watch that kid. Hold on. Yeah, no.
Oh, you're right.
Whoa. What? I got a flashback back to 1994. What was the 3200 baud modem noise here? What was that?
Sorry.
If the Grand Poobah, Mr. Mark Peterson of Beaver County Radio fame, if you're listening,
You're going to get me yelled at.
what kind of antiquated equipment are we using down here? That might explain why Facebook Live we had some connectivity issues earlier. That sounded like an old AOL modem connectivity, and I was waiting for it to stop, and all suddenly I'd hear, "You've got mail." You've got mail.
The wonders of YouTube.
Oh man, no, that was friends. That was a prop. That was for laughs and giggles. Yeah, that was not reality. We're state of the art down here. Mostly.
You probably got.
I can make that the intro to our show going forward.
Probably got poor Mark on the edge of his seat.
Well, I want to take care of some business real quick here, friends. First and foremost, I was mentioning earlier, my show is sponsored by CallEric.com, which is my website, and it is a great place to go learn about real estate, about realtors, and my philosophies on being a realtor. Hopefully, you will hear and see enough there that you will indeed enjoy the kind of work that I do and be willing to reach out to have a further discussion if you're in need of a realtor or if one of your family or friends are. I'd love to work with you. I work again in Allegheny, Butler, Washington, and most importantly, in the great county of Beaver. Love to talk with you about your listing a home or buying a home, or even if you just have questions about, you're thinking about doing either of those two. Love to talk with you. I love to meet new people. Frank will attest to this. Frank loves to meet new people too. Frank just doesn't take compliments very well, and you'll learn that as time goes on. But I told him if he hangs around my humble self, he'll learn how to take compliments very well.
I'm just me.
Friends, a couple other parts of business here. This show is also sponsored by the Facebook group Moon Connects, plural. Moon Connects, and the two admins and founders of that show, Stephen Dish and Caroline Trunzo. Don't know if either one of you two are tuning in today. You better be. But you're also a great sponsor of this show. And this show is also sponsored by Matt Pia and Division 9 Inspection.com. You can reach Matt directly, and he loves calls at any time of the day. I want to add 412-715-8123. And again, that's 412-715-8123. And that is Division, the number 9. So Division, number 9, Inspection.com. Excellent website. Almost as good as mine.
Yeah.
Almost as good as mine, but a great compliment to what I do at CallEric.com. If you're looking for a realtor and you're trying to make that decision and you want to see what I'm about, it's great to head over to Division 9 Inspection and see what my preferred inspector for my buyers, but also my good friend Matt Pia, what he is about. And I think it's you'll walk away after that half an hour of diving in there better informed. And yeah, we definitely encourage you to go there. I want to send a special hello out to Matt's nephew,
Yep.
the one and only Aaron Moreski. He's listening from what town is it?
In Middletown.
Aaron, how are you? Thank you. I don't know if you're on Facebook Live or you're listening or whatever. You probably have to be watching.
Well, Facebook Live, yeah.
Yeah, because the range.
His
the
dad,
range.
my brother-in-law, Tim, turned it on and
Awesome.
said that Aaron was there.
Thank you. And you have been acknowledged. We acknowledge your presence. Thank you. Facebook Live has been a great addition to the show. We were talking with Matt Pia here from Division 9 Home Inspection, and we were talking about the need for a home inspection. I kind of went through the different aspects as to why it's necessary and why I believe in it. Overall, friends, from a practicality standpoint, the $350 to $450 to $550 to whatever range based upon how big the house is or what particular inspections you get, either one of those numbers, I don't care if it's $1,000. the bottom line is that's a fraction to pay for an insurance policy that you're putting your money into a home that's solid and is as the seller has disclosed on the required seller disclosures.
That's correct. And, you know, a lot of times you have to look at it as this way, is the seller may not even know some of the deficiencies that we find in there. They could have lived in this house for 15, 20 years and not know that they've had issues with the house. The other thing is, you know, the price of the inspections, you know, versus what you're going to find undiscovered in the cost of repairs later on down the road. You know, you pay the fee up front, or you pay double, triple, or quadruple, you know, when the issue comes up for not having a qualified inspector do your inspection.
There's no question about that. And I've learned firsthand as an agent, you know, the seller disclosure for any home should be the seller's very best knowledge of everything that has happened during their ownership. I am the person that goes around. I'm the kind of guy that always gives everyone the benefit of the doubt. I'm a trusting guy. I don't want to live my life any other way. It's served me well most of my life, but in terms of business, there's been times I've been disappointed. Matt is the ultimate equalizer. I think Matt feels the same way. I think that's why we get along with friends. Matt also takes things on face value. However, it is also Matt's job to ensure that what is on that seller disclosure is not the end-all when it comes to someone looking at a house as to what to buy. Matt will look at the seller disclosure after the fact. I know you're one of these inspectors that I love, that you don't even look at the seller disclosure until your inspection is done, because you don't want to be tainted or in any way, or even not that you would succumb to that, but you don't even want anything floating in your head. You want to go in there clean and clear, and I admire that about you. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, the seller disclosures are nice, and I can't say if other inspectors use them or not. I don't want to.
Right.
And again, what you just said, I don't want to go in there with the preconception that there is issues going on with the house.
Right.
If there are, I want to find them.
Right.
So
absolutely right, and that's why I just enjoy working with you. The importance of a home inspection, friends, again, is, you know, I use this phrase a lot in my short video clips on my website called the McKenna Minute. And I also have a podcast. I want to kind of plug that as well. I'm doing a podcast with a great realtor out of Minneapolis and a good friend of mine, Tommy Summers. And it's called the First Time Homebuyers Podcast, where once a week for about 10 to 15 minutes, we talk about the steps involved of buying your first home. And that thing has taken off. And I have to give most of the credit to Tommy. He just, it was his brainchild. But what we cover in there is we really talk about specifics. And the one that I've been really harping on recently is the need for a home inspection. I know Tommy Summers out in Minneapolis couldn't agree more. And again, friends, don't be, how would I say, foolishly frugal. That's about as polite as I can be. Don't be foolishly frugal, meaning that, hey, Matt, you just got to interrupt me for 1 second. Mark Rahak, the wonderful Mark Rahak, said, Matt rocks, loves the drone, loves your work.
Thank you very much, Mark.
There's a Facebook endorsement from Matt P.F. from one of my clients who has used Matt. Good to see you, Mark. Jeff Schreiner, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Facebook Live. Don't be foolishly frugal. You know, a couple $100 to ensure that your multi-$100,000 investment is worth it. Is worth every dime. And I've seen all kinds of inspections done. I have worked a lot alongside Matt from a learning standpoint. And it's helped me as a realtor to know. And, you know, I used to joke all the time I knew enough to be dangerous, which was, you know, it's a joke. And I would never, you know, my knowledge is not that of an inspector, but it helps me as a realtor to understand more about what you do, because now I even realize even more as a more experienced realtor how important that inspection is. And when I'm talking to clients, I can say, hey, I can use examples and this and that. The other thing that I do want to stress, too, about home inspections is this. And, again, we can talk any specifics you want. You can reach us here with any specifics from Matt or myself at 724-843-1888 or 724-774-1888, the most two famous numbers in Beaver County, of course. You can call us on those numbers or ask us a question on Facebook Live. Jamie said, I love the drone too. See, that's like, I never get to see the drone unless I hire the guy to do some pre-listing, you know, video for me. I never see the drone in action actually on an inspection. I never seen that. I really haven't.
Yeah.
I always leave before that.
Yep.
But anyways, it really comes down to this. An inspection is kind of a scary thing. I mean, just the name inspector, inspection, and Matt does diffuse all of that. And what I mean by that is when you meet Matt on site, it's a good experience. He's going to walk you through the house as he does his inspection. He encourages questions. He's also going to explain the mechanicals of your house and the things that we generally don't know. And this inspection report's not only going to protect you when we go through the negotiations with the seller, but it's also a owner's manual for your home.
Exactly.
And you talk about that a little bit?
Well, the reporting system that we use is a cloud-based reporting system. So it's not one of these ones that's there for a year. It's actually there for eternity. It's never going to go away.
It's a permanent record.
It is. So it's at any time you could recall that. I can recall it. But what's nice about it is going through the report, there are hyperlinks. So if we were to spend the amount of time, and we spend a lot of time on these reports, and people get the misconception that, okay, we're just there for a couple hours and do a report. Well, most of the time is actually spent doing the report.
Absolutely.
So, when we're doing these inspections, we figure if we spend 2.5 hours at an inspection, we've got another 2 to 3 hours that we're doing the report.
Absolutely right.
Because we want to make sure that what we're putting in there is put in correctly. We want to word everything. But if we were to go through that report, we'd have hundreds and hundreds of pages. But what's nice with these reports is it has a hyperlink.
Yes.
So that what we put in there, it actually gives you hit the hyperlink and it gives you preloaded pages of deficiencies that we're finding and gives you more explanation. At the end of the reports, you do actually get a homeowner's manual.
Mm-hmm.
So, you go in there, you click on it, it tells you everything there is to need, or everything you would want to know about the house.
There's no
and
question.
Maintaining the house.
And I have clients that 3 years ago to use Matt when I introduced Matt to them. And I have the one client that called me yesterday. She's still using that report for her husband travels, and she smelled gas. She smelled gas, or it was it gas or water? I can't remember. Too many calls this week. But she didn't know where the main shutoff was in the house, and she just couldn't remember. She went back to that report, went downstairs, and shut it off. And she goes, that was worth its weight in gold to her.
Right.
I think it was water. I think she had a water leak. I can't remember. But the point is, it is an owner's manual for your house. It's multifaceted, and again, it's such a small amount of money. Whether your house that you're buying is $40,000 or $400,000 or $1 million, in the end, it's almost ridiculously foolish.
Yeah,
not to do it.
it is.
And again, the seller disclosures are not enough. They are simply not enough. You need an advocate. And I say that a lot in my video presentations. I say it a lot on this show. When I use the word advocate, Frank rolls his eyes over there because I've used it so many times. But that's what a realtor is. He's an advocate. That's what a local home inspector is to you. He's an advocate. She's an advocate. And again, I want to touch on this too. This has been another topic of conversation. And I know, ironically, you would think these two parties wouldn't be connected, but in a way they are. Matt will adhere to this philosophy as well. If you're getting a mortgage loan and you're buying your first house or you're buying your seventh house, you will benefit so much by having a local mortgage rep.
Yes.
Having a local mortgage rep you can sit down with, look them in the eye, do your application, talk about appraisals, talk about the underwriting process. And as you get started, as we move toward closing, that local mortgage rep is going to be in touch with myself, your realtor, going to be in touch with the closing company. Also, may need to reach out to Matt for clarification. Maybe the underwriting department would need to reach out to Matt for questions and concerns. If it's local, we're going to close on time. 99.9% chance we're going to close for you, the buyer, on time, which means you get your dream house as scheduled. I will tell you, and I'm sure people will dispute that, but this is my show. So this is my excuse me. Hi, Jen. This is my opinion. The bottom line is, that's a very, Mark Rayhack and Jan, my clients are watching, and I'm humbled. Wow. Thank you so much. The kind comments, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. I'm a little verklempt here. But thank you so much, Mark and Jan. In the end, you working with a local mortgage rep is going to be your advocate, because this process, from the time you meet your realtor to the time you close on your home, it's a journey. And as I say, I'm not a salesperson. That's not what a realtor does. It's not what a good realtor does.
No.
Matt is not the judge and jury of whether you're buying your house. The inspector is not the judge and jury. The inspector is your advocate. He's going in there representing you and your best interest, and showing you exactly what is sitting right in front of you, things that you may not see, things that are not on the seller disclosure, and making recommendations. He is your advocate. Your mortgage rep is your advocate, okay? Let's face it, whether they're paid by fee or whether they're paid by commission, doesn't matter. They have your best interest in hand because they don't make money. They don't earn a living unless you are happy.
Right.
End of story. Now, I know that a lot of us that watch sports, we see just crazy things. Like, there was, and I won't name the name, but you'll see, like, I think during the Super Bowl, there was a spaceship app you can put on your phone that would get you your mortgage. And I'm not saying that these aren't valid companies. I'm telling you, though, as a realtor, as many realtors, hopefully most realtors will tell you, you're going to have a smoother transition to closing if you choose a great local mortgage agent. And I know you agree with me.
I do agree because I can't speak from experience because I've never used one of those nationwide
right or the 800
companies.
numbers
Right.
or whatever.
But things that I have heard from clients that I've inspected for is that they've had an issue and then it's going to this guy in Tallahassee and then it's going to another guy in California.
Right.
And it's delayed their process.
There's no question.
By weeks or months.
Well, the funny part about it is, I have to laugh because I recommend a fantastic mortgage agent here who also is a sponsor of this show, Miss Leslie Raymond from Union Home Mortgage. And again, as a buyer, you have the choice to use anyone you want, and you should. That's part of the protection laws, but that's also part of being a home buyer and going on this journey. You get to pick the pieces of the puzzle that you get to work with. Why I like a local mortgage rep is, again, you're going to sit down with them, or maybe they're just going to email you the documents, whatever you're comfortable with, but you know where their physical location is. Mm-hmm. You can go meet with them. The appraisal, the underwriting, and the underwriting is the big thing. And if you want to have, let me just put it to you this way. If you go to a local mortgage rep and you're going through the process and the appraisal comes in and your application is taken, everything's good, but the underwriting team for that mortgage company has a question here or a question there, a question here, they're going to go back to that mortgage agent.
Right.
And that mortgage agent, as your advocate, is going to, quote unquote, stand up for you and fight for you and do everything on your behalf to get this through to closing. Mm-hmm. And if there is a stumbling block, that local mortgage agent is going to interact on your behalf and come to you and explain in layman's terms what we need to do, what we need to correct. And friends, believe me, trusting to an 800 number or calling India on an 800 line, not knowing who you are, having a mortgage rep in New York and an underwriter in Florida, you just don't want that. So again, I strongly advocate using a local mortgage rep. If you're in the Pittsburgh area and you need a referral to 1, 2, or 3, or 5 great ones, contact me. Again, I'd be glad to give referrals to someone who you can sit down with and start your mortgage process. Okay, that's the great sounds of the Brothers Johnson. That means we're headed toward a break. Friends, you are listening to, and I thank you for that, Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna every Saturday from 10:30 to noon here on Beaver County Radio. And we will be right back. go. And we're back in black. Both of us. Yeah, both. Even Frank's got a little. Well, Frank has that Miller
Dark blue.
Mark. He's got that Miller Lite baseball hat on again. Oh my gosh.
It's the only day of the week I get to wear a hat. Okay.
Me too. Actually, I wear a sports cap almost every day. That's part of who I is.
Unlike you, I have hair to comb every day, so I got to comb it.
Oh.
So I have to comb my hair. So Saturdays I look forward to because I don't have to. Well, I have to comb it. I just don't have to put gel and stuff.
Wait, did he really go there? Did he really?
I think
did
he
he
did.
really go to the lack of follicle up there? James Straka, Jennifer, how are you? Thank you guys for.
I'm
tuning
sure if he
in.
took his shirt off, though, his back's covered.
No, I lucked out in that regard. Yeah, well, unless it's just so gray and you can't see it. Oh, this show is taking a bad turn here. It all started over me making fun of a Miller Lite hat that's
I'll teach you.
over there. Yeah. I guess it will. James Tracker, let's go Bucks. You bet, man. I'm not really liking what I'm seeing so far there, Jimmy. But
well, you know what,
Yeah.
Frank? I think that Eric has to learn not to poke the bear.
Right, exactly. There you go.
Yeah, I guess I learned a valuable lesson today. Yes, I most certainly did. Frank, how are you doing today, friend?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing splendid. I am so splendid. I'm so happy to be here, as I always am. Man, the time goes fast. We're entering the third segment of Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna. That's me. I'm a realtor with RE/MAX Advanced out of Sewickley. But don't let that Sewickley address fool you, because I work everywhere. Literally, as Matt knows,
Yes.
because I send I send him down to inspect my buyers' properties everywhere, which he gladly does. Allegheny County, obviously, Washington and Butler, but I love working in Beaver County. That's what this show has done. It has broadened my client base, broadened my friend base, and for that I'll be forever grateful. I do want to acknowledge, although he will be read as a beat over across the board for me, it wasn't for Frank Sparks and it wasn't for Mr. Mark Peterson, this show would not exist. They came to me with this crazy science experiment of an idea. You know, it's this show 32. What would you say, about 40 weeks ago we put it together? Frank, is that about right?
Yeah, that's about right.
About 40 weeks ago. And we didn't know how it was going to go. It was an hour at one point, and we had so much fun. The opportunity made it available for us to expand the show to 90 minutes, which I wholeheartedly did. And then we got renewed. And I'm an emotional guy, so when Mark called around Christmas time to tell me that the show was renewed for 2017, and he was happy, that was a big part of my life, really important part of my life, that we were doing something great here. So I love coming every Saturday. We're here from 10:30 to noon for 90 minutes to talk some real estate and to laugh, and at the end of the show, talk a little sports. We opened up today. I had a question on NASCAR, so there you go. For the first couple minutes, we talked NASCAR. That's what we do here. This is a variety show. Now we're going to have dancing girls and maybe a magician, and who knows what's going to be here next week. Again today, friends. Thanks, Jimmy. Jim goes, the show is spectacular. Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate it. We're just here to make people laugh. The idea ultimately, though, is to bring content to the air about real estate. Of course, I'm shilling for myself. I am a realtor, and I can be your personal realtor. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home, anyone in your family, possibly, or a friend looking for a realtor, or believe that they need a realtor, I'd love to work with them, friends. My direct number to reach me is 412-613-4466. Again, it's 412-613-4466. You can call or text me there. My email is very easy. It's sold@calleric.com. Again, it's sold@calleric.com. And, of course, this show's main sponsor is my website, calleric.com. It's call Eric, right?
Call Eric.
It's simple.
Yeah.
Clean, concise, simple. I like simple.
To the point.
Simple constructions, call Eric. But again, I can be your personal realtor, and I'd be honored to meet you and discuss any real estate issues you have or any concerns. And maybe, who knows, I'll be your personal realtor. So there you go. All right, we're here with Matt Pia from Division 9 Home Inspection. We've been talking about the importance of an inspection. And we've also been talking about the idea of having an advocate on your side. We talked about whether it's your realtor, whether it's your home inspector, whether it is your home loan mortgage representative, which we try to implore you to use a local rep. I will tell you this, too. There are a couple national home inspection companies. I ran into one when I was a younger realtor on an inspection, and it ended up being a nightmare. I will be honest with you. I can only talk from my own personal experience, but the rate wasn't much different than what you charge, Matt. And I remember this couple had found it on their own. He was a great young couple, but he was convinced based upon an infomercial he saw online. So they used this, and it was very difficult. I don't like to use the word nightmare very often, but it was difficult as an agent to get answers from them. I didn't understand their report very well, neither did my buyer. And it taught me right away that I really need to implore to my buyers, if they want to listen, of course,
Yeah.
that we need to find someone local. And it wasn't too long after that I'd used a couple local, and I had some okay inspectors there, and then we connected. And as soon as I started working with Matt, that was it. It took it to a whole different level of client understanding, of agent understanding, of pricing, of the type of inspection that was being done, how thorough it was. I'd like to say that Matt's probably the most thorough inspector I've ever used, but at the same time, it's tempered in the most awesome of ways because he's the most customer-friendly inspector I've ever used. So you combine the two of those, that's perfection to me, my friend. And I know you're like Frank. You don't like compliments either. Both of you guys have problems with that. But my clients' feedback to me, time after time after again, Matt's unbelievable. Matt was amazing. He answered all our questions. The inspection, although we don't like everything in it sometimes, we'll work through that. That's my job as your agent.
Right.
But it's a great inspection. It's easy. The format's great. The online version and the links are wonderful. And now I have an owner's manual to my house. And again, I want to stress that you have an owner's manual to your property. And all of that for a couple $100 when you're buying something that's just, it could be $200,000, $500,000, $700,000. I mean, it's pennies. It's pennies.
Right. And what helps a lot is, and you touching on the national companies, and I can't speak for them. I don't know what they do, how they do their due diligence, but or what backgrounds they come from. But I do know that it's important to question your home inspector. And there are certain aspects that you want to ask them. First and foremost, are they insured?
Bingo.
Do they carry general liability? And do they carry errors and omissions? And is it current and up to date? There's nothing wrong with a potential homeowner, requesting a copy of an inspector's insurance policy.
Absolutely right.
I can't say that we've ever been asked that. I mean, other than from the MLS.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I mean, they should ask that. The other questions are, what background do you come from? I've run across several independent contractor or home inspectors that they were accountants or they were something else that really didn't have a background in home inspections.
Right.
They went and took the class and they were certified home inspectors.
Sure. Go figure that, right?
And
that's scary. That's scary.
It is. And the other one to look at is, how's your health? Are you capable of getting into these crawl spaces? Are you capable of doing the full due diligence of an inspection? So I mean, it's a big thing. We recently just brought on a new inspector who has a very vast knowledge of home building.
There's no question, and I'm not talking about someone that I personally know.
Yeah,
Steve Kowalik.
Steve Kowalik. Yeah,
Great guy.
he has a great
guy.
background in construction and in real estate. So I mean, it's a perfect model for what we as Division 9 like to bring out to our clients. We want somebody to have a background, so when they ask, "What is this?" well, they know exactly what it is.
Right, and I think about with Matt too. I'm going to give you a case in point why it's important to have an advocate, someone you can trust. If you're going to start the process by choosing a realtor, and of course, that's what I do. I take pride in what I do. I'd love to work with you as your realtor, but regardless of where you are, and we're at Facebook Live, you could be watching in Ohio for all I know right now, which is great. But let me stop for a second. Jan and Mark Rahak continue to be so kind on here. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much, Jan. It means the world to me. That's having this kind of public reaffirmation and compliment to what Matt and I do is the ultimate compliment. So thank you. Very, very humbled.
Thank you very much.
Very humbled. We both love having you two as a client. I mean, you say dream client all the time. And it doesn't often happen.
Yeah.
Completely, and that's okay too. But Jan and Mark, just salt of the earth. I believe in having an advocate. So whether you're choosing me as a realtor in Western Pennsylvania, and I hope you give me a shot, that's fine, or wherever you are, you start with choosing a realtor. friends, you want to pick a realtor that you can trust, okay? And again, here's one of the reasons why that trust needs to be imperative. You want to lean on them for referrals. You want to say, man, I got a great realtor. I know if he's going to point me in these three directions, my home inspection, my mortgage, and my closing company. Those three components, I'm going to use his referral. I'm going to trust my realtor and use his referrals. The reason being is this is not our first rodeo. It's not my first rodeo as a realtor, okay? When I come to you and I give you a couple options for home inspectors and you look at me and say, well, Eric, if you were doing it, what would you do? And I say, Matt Pia. If you ask for mortgage companies, we're confused. We hear these rates on the Rocket this and Spaceship that and app on our phone, and you're going to be inundated with mortgage people. And I say, hey, a lot of them are great. There's a couple here in Pittsburgh that I've had great success with. And then they ask me, Eric, if you were going to do it, who would you choose? And I say, Leslie Raymond, Union Home Mortgage. But of course, they're free to use whoever they want. But trust your realtor, and find a realtor that has great referrals. Because again, as this is not my first rodeo, it's probably not your realtor's first rodeo, and we're going to put you in touch with people who it's not their first rodeo in their fields. Whether it's home inspection like Matt Pia here, whether it's Leslie Raymond, or any great mortgage rep, or closing companies. There's great closing companies out there, and I have relationships with a bunch of them. I love PA Land Title out of Robinson Township. They're just quality people, and they get the job done quickly and efficiently. Referrals are strong. Trust your realtor to give you referrals, and then believe in them, okay? I mean, you're always free to do what you want. That's the great thing about being a buyer, especially in Pennsylvania. You're so protected, as you should be. It's your choice always. But if you're going to hire a realtor, you're going to choose a realtor, trust in them that the referrals they give you are just as trustworthy as your belief in them.
Yeah.
Would you not agree?
Well, yeah, I full-heartedly agree with that. And there's several contractors that, for certain things that I'll give out to clients.
Right.
And I won't give those just somebody I don't know.
Sure.
These are contractors that I have personally vetted or have personally used on my house.
Right.
Or have a good experience with them and have them, then I'll give those out. I just don't give out anybody's card and say, hey, look, call this guy here just to pass something on. These are people that we trust in and will use.
And to go on Matt's point overall, let's face it, friends. Take us out of real estate for a second. Doesn't everybody look for a great plumber or a great chimney guy? We're always asking around. We need. And we always ask around the worst time when our water heater goes, or when our furnace goes, or when our front steps erode. So again, trust. It all starts with your realtor. I like to label myself your personal realtor. That's my moniker, but I believe that because I just get that involved with my clients, and I knock on laminate here. Most of my clients I've ever had are still great friends of mine, and that's a testament to the work that we do together on this journey. So trust your realtor. We have a great question here from Ron Duramo in regards to home inspections, and he said, should you get your home inspected only at the time that you're getting to sell, or could you do it periodically? And I'm of the belief that it's imperative to do it, obviously, before you're going to buy your home. I also believe in what Matt does, which is called a pre-listing consultation. So if you're thinking of selling your house, I also can get you in touch with Matt, where he can go in and it's very close to an inspection, probably not quite as involved, unless you want it to be that involved as a homeowner.
Correct. I mean, what we do is we'll go in. We're more as a consultant, so we're going in and pointing out the deficiencies. And again, we've touched on this multiple times. But the good thing about this is it gives the seller and their agent more information on the house, on the true pricing of the house. So a client may think that their house is worth $300,000 as it stands. We go in and say, look, your house could be worth $300,000 if you do this.
Right.
If not, then your value really isn't there.
No, absolutely right. And that's the thing too. And I will take it a step further. That's part of the agent and you, the home seller, coming to the appropriate listing price. But also, we need to potentially identify any deficiencies that may be there if, in turn, you're going to assume that it comes under contract, that that buyer is going to bring an inspector.
Right.
And there's going to be an appraiser for that buyer's mortgage company.
Correct.
So you may want to try to take some, and it doesn't mean you have to fix all the things that Matt may uncover. They can be negotiated with buyers, but you at least want to know about them ahead of time.
Correct. And we got a question from Ron on periodic inspections.
That was the next part of the thing I wanted to mention to you. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, you should, as a homeowner, you should periodically be inspecting your hot water tank, inspecting your furnace, looking for these major issues, looking for water leaks. One of the things that people don't realize is when you see a shutoff valve that's getting a little bit corroded, that's an actual water leak. That's the calcium buildup from the water leaking. And those should be changed because over time, they're going to leak, and then you're going to have, water damage to the house. I mean, if you're not that versed in it and you'd want somebody to come over, please give us a call. We'll come over. We'll discuss what you're looking to have done, and then we'll work a price accordingly to do that.
Well, I know Matt has done home inspections for people that were not even remotely thinking about selling their house. They've lived there for a period of time, and they thought it'd be a great idea to have a home inspection just to see where they stand on mechanicals and on soffit and fascia and roofing and everything else. And it's very valuable, I mean, if it's within your budget and you think you would, who wouldn't want an owner's manual to their home?
Right.
Especially for how little you charge. And we're not going to, I think you should charge considerably more. That's a personal conversation between Matt and I. But what a great deal that Matt offers for what my clients have received. It's been, it's almost too good to be true based upon what I see out there. But great question, Ron. Hope that's of help to you as well. Friends, you're listening to Your Personal Realtor with, I was right on time with that, wasn't I? I even started my exit before the music started. Did you see that?
I saw that.
Well, I figured you knew it was time, so I was listening and waiting for you. I don't want to interrupt you,
to our Facebook friends watching on Facebook Live, and to our listening audience in the wide area of Beaver County Radio, thank you. I humbly thank you for listening today. This is Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna on Beaver County Radio, and we'll be right back. And we're back with your personal realtor. That's right, your personal realtor with Eric McKenna. I am a realtor with RE/MAX Advanced Realtor. What are you doing over there?
That was appropriately placed too.
Let me repeat my intro. Friends,
Wow.
Facebook Live, Beaver County radio audience, you're listening to your personal realtor with RE/MAX Advanced Realtor, Eric McKenna. I'm here every Saturday, luckily, from 10:30 a.m. to noon, spending a great 90 minutes with you wonderful people. Humbled that the Facebook Live audience continues to build, and we have so much interaction in Beaver County. I do work as a realtor in Allegheny, Washington, Butler, and, of course, the great county of Beaver. Love to talk with you as well. Would love to be your personal realtor. If you're thinking of buying, selling, even if it's in the near future, even if it's a year away, I would love to talk to you about your ideas on real estate, share my ideas, and see if I can be of some service to you. Family members, friends, anyone that you think that I could help and provide great realtor service and some innovative help as well, whether social media and all the marketing that we do at RE/MAX and at calleric.com. If I can be of help, I'd love to be. You can reach me directly at 412-613-4466. Again, it's 412-613-4466. Call or text me anytime.
Anytime.
I will get back to you promptly. Again, it's calleric.com is the sponsor of this show. We are also sponsored by Matt Pia from Division 9, the number 9, Division 9 Inspection.com. I call him Matt Pia from Division 9 Home Inspections. That's me, but that's not the official name. What is the actual official name?
The official name is Division 9 Inspection Group.
Okay, Division 9 Inspection Group. Well, if you type in Matt Pia, that's P-I-A, in the internet, you're going to find him. The direct number to reach Matt, if you have any questions at all, he loves getting calls at 3:30 in the morning, too, by the way. Just
I
like
do, because it's on automatic forward to Eric.
It's 412-715-8123. Again, that's 412-715-8123. That's Matt Pia with Division 9 Inspection Group. If you have any questions about home inspections in any regard, any questions about your mechanicals, or if you think you need a home inspection to get to basically whether you're buying or selling or you're not, and you want to talk to a great inspector to get an owner's manual for your house and hire Matt to do that for you and talk about it, by all means, give him a call. The website for Matt is division9inspection.com. So there you go. I got it right.
You did. And, one of the things that, we'll say about you, I mean, you give us a lot of great compliments and, and promote us a lot.
Sure.
But one thing I can say with you is we had an inspection this week with a first-time home buyers, young couple. And, one of the things that I can say about you as an agent is I have never seen a client bewildered, baffled, or just terrified. And a young couple, I mean, they were just taken aback from the agent that they were using. I mean, they literally were scared to death just because of how the agent was treating them, what they were doing.
Right.
And this was a late day because both of them worked.
Sure.
So we try to accommodate the buyers with time-wise if we can get them into the schedule.
Absolutely.
Fortunately, the young couple that we did this for, I know the girl personally.
Okay.
And we did their inspection. I think it was at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So we typically have a 48-hour turnaround on our our reports. Depending on how many reports we have to write.
Absolutely.
But we literally got a call the next morning from the potential buyers because the agent was just on them. Where's this report? I need this report now. If you don't get it, then you're going to have problems. And they had just they had 15 days to do.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, they were horrified. And, I literally had to sit down and talk with them and say,
Sure.
look, here's how the process works.
Right.
Don't get excited. You're covered. You're fine. But that's one of the things that I see with you.
Well, thank you.
Is keeping your clients calm, keeping them abreast of what's going on, and actually giving them true information as to the process of how things should happen.
Well, Matt, I appreciate that. That means the world to me. I joke around, with Frank all the time saying he doesn't take compliments very well, but I struggle with him too. But I just the reason that I kind of conduct my practice the way it is because a long, long time ago, as a young man, I learned the importance of customer service, and I have carried that throughout my life, whether it was sales or whether it was the guitar business or whatever. And no other career I've ever had has service been such an important thing as being a realtor. It's a multifaceted, career path, and it's a practice that I run. And you take whether it's an individual or a couple. It could be any demographic. It could be any age. They're your client. I have a fiduciary responsibility to them. I take it a step further where I really love to be their advocate, and I get to know my clients, their wants and likes. And at times, I will tell you, I see a lot of their frustrations. I see their joy. I see all of this, and it helps the relationship. And I think if nothing else, they will get the very best of me because they've let me into their life the way they have. Mm-hmm. And the way I can react based upon what's happening to them is to always be that calm, leveling force. I mean, I am your advocate. And what I mean by that is we're going to get to the end zone. Right. In terms of a football game, we're going to get to the end zone. We may have a running play that goes 30 yards, or we might get sacked for 15. Mm-hmm. It's a back and forth, but we're always moving forward. Nothing in real estate cannot be worked out. And I believe that. Now, hey, it's a very small instance ever where I've had a buyer walk away from a property. It's just a handful of times out of all the property. How all the properties I've ever done. There's everything can be fixed. And I believe that about life in general. So I appreciate that. But being an advocate and being someone who's dedicated to service to my clients, that's everything to me. And I say that sincerely. It's not a marketing line. When I say your personal realtor, it's personal because this is probably the biggest purchase you're ever going to make, or maybe one of the biggest purchases you're ever going to make. It has a lot to do with your lifestyle. It has a lot to do with what school district you're in to possibly raise a family. It has a lot to do, maybe you're moving to your retirement home. And it's a lot to do with where you want to be in your life. You're getting from point A to point B. You're hiring me to represent you, to be your advocate and make that journey as smooth as possible. And that's what we talked about. Trusting your realtor is in that journey. It's multiple parts. It's a lot of moving parts. The closing company, mortgage representative, and of course, inspector. And that's where, and again, when you're a younger agent, okay, at that time in my life, it's harder then because you are still formulating what works and what doesn't work, what vendors are great, what vendors are so-so, and what you feel most comfortable with, referring out. As experienced as I am at the moment, what's been wonderful is that I have been able to work with you, Leslie Raymond at Union Home Mortgage, PA Land Title, and others, and other mortgage agents and other inspectors. And I know who is fantastic in this business, and that's where when I refer my buyer to Matt Pia at Division 9 or Leslie Raymond or PA Land Title, or we put the whole team together, it's a loose team, of course. There's no monetary connections between any of us. No. There's no written agreements between any of us. It's purely referral. But I'd like to say when you put the actions of this team moving forward for my buyers, it's amazing. It's amazing the fluidity. It's amazing how fast and on time they close. It's amazing how if there are bumps in the road, how we overcome them. And that's wonderful. And I guess that's kind of the payback for, the years put in as a realtor. And I'm at that point now in my realtor career where that synergy is there and my buyers benefit and I see the smiles. And I love it. I will honestly, if you're going to hire somebody to do something for you to represent you, and I'm talking about a doctor, a dentist, a lawyer, get to know these people. Make sure they love what they do. I mean, you are never going to see me get up in the morning and complain about being a realtor. There may be frustrations. There may be interaction that I may have that might not have gone as well with either another realtor or another inspector or something. But ultimately, I love what I do. When Matt goes to do an inspection, he interacts with a client. He's smiling, and he's smiling because he loves what he does. I love PA Land Title as a closing company. You go in there, they're the happiest people, and closing companies sometimes deal with a lot of problems, right? Yeah. I mean, they're juggling emotions and everything, so they're wonderful people. Leslie Raymond, Union Home Mortgage. I mean, I have never ever seen her not smiling. They love what they do. They love helping people. And I guess that's where I'll leave this show today, friends. Trust in your realtor. When you're working with Matt, trust in Matt. Trust in your mortgage rate. But whatever you do, don't do business with someone that you don't have a good feel about. Someone that's not come to you on a good referral. You know, you only go around once in life. Enjoy who you work with. Make good choices. And again, like I said, if you're looking for a realtor in Pittsburgh, I love what I do, and I love the opportunity to meet you. Again, this is Eric McKenna, your personal realtor. It's been an absolutely wonderful 90 minutes. We didn't get to our sports question. We didn't get to Matt's trivia question. But you know what? Friends on Facebook Live, I want to thank you so much. This has been a great, great show. You know Matt's going to be here maybe next week, the week after, but he's always around. All of our shows at Your Personal Realtor go best when Matt P. is involved. And, of course, I could not do this or could not have been successful to this point without the one and only Mr. Beaver County Radio, Frank Sparks.
Thank you.
He doesn't take compliments well, but I humbly tell you, my friend, thank you for all you've done for me.
You're welcome.
And I mean that sincerely. I really mean that.
You got to do without me for 2 weeks now.
I know. We're gonna do it. We're gonna
maybe 3. I think
we're gonna forge on. We're gonna forge. He's leaving me already. I give the guy a compliment. There he goes. To our Facebook audience, thank you so much. To Mr. Matt Pia from Division 9 Home Inspection, thank you for being here and helping generate even better content for Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna. And until next Saturday at 10:30 a.m. to noon, please have a great week. Take care of each other, and God bless.
Beaver County's hometown radio stations, 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls and 1460 WMBA Ambridge.